So, hello, welcome back to another episode of the Self-Development with Tactics podcast. Today, I am going to go through some quotes, as I haven't done this in quite some time, to be honest. But I think that it is indeed like pretty great. Sometimes you'll be able to find certain quotes that really do mean something. And I'd always want to hit a point home. I'd also want to, point something rather specific out, I'd say. But while I'm doing so, I'm also going to be able to do something else, which is kind of the beauty behind podcasting. That it's... Why is this cluttered with shit? Well, anyway. Sometimes we really get caught up in certain things. We believe that X, Y, or Z is important, but it isn't. We get caught up in believing that certain things are important, but they aren't. They really aren't. And therefore, from time to time, it is actually very important to get reminded of certain facts, that this is what life is like. This is what it is. This is what is indeed important. This is something that you should be focusing on. For example. So, but still, of course, it is difficult. It really is. It's not something easy. It's not. It's not something. It's not something that really often comes natural, I'd say. We get caught up in things. Life happens. Yada yada yada. And therefore, it's interesting, It's interesting to see from time to time that we have been caught up in X, Y, or Z to, basically remind ourselves of the fact that we got caught up in X, Y, and also Z. And a little bit of a preface, a little bit of a thought here at first, while I'm trying to find actually something, but I'm rather unable to do so without me having to go through like everything, which would be a little tiny bit of a pity now. But yeah, let me see what I've been doing here. While I'm doing so, I'm gonna start the first quotes. Are there some quotes of the year? ? Would be rather interesting. 10 New Year's quotes. The best New Year's quotes. The best New Year's quotes. Awesome quotes that will make you feel great in 2020. Well, let's actually hit them up for whatever reason. It's a bit late, I'd say, but yeah. Your life only gets better when you get better. I think in general that progress is something rather crucial. We all need to go ahead. We all need to be able to move ahead. I think this is what is interesting about life, that things change, that, one changes, and so on and so forth. Open with Google Docs, or do I wanna Soho Writer? I do wonder though where this is. I do really wonder. Organize. This file is in folder that. So let's check it out. But okay, there it is. Let me just upload something important. Where is it? There it is. And there you go. Wow, Replace existing items. That's amazing. Thanks for nothing, I would say. That's really a pity. God. Computers. Well, I could actually then get rid of this one, I'd say. Well, anyway. It doesn't matter where you came from, all that matters is where you're going, from Brian Tracy. Well, as funny as it is on the briantracy.com site, so I do hope that's not only him or his quotes. Doesn't matter where you came from. Well, yeah, it really does not. You know, there are a ton of people that really started in a quote-unquote poor environment. You know, let's just call it that. And well, of course it is. You know, when you are in such a position, it's definitely not easy. It's completely the opposite to then go ahead in life, but we all can, and people have shown that. And you know, when somebody did it, it means that you can do it as well. I would argue. I would say. Come on. Come on, you little... Think big and don't listen to people who tell you it can't be done. Life is too short to think small. Tim Ferriss. Yeah, and there was also another quote that he posted very recently on Instagram that said something along the lines, and it wasn't him saying this, but failing... Well, just to paraphrase it. Failing is good, and failing leads to being able to know what to do. I think something along the lines of that. At least it's you know, good. And I would say this as well. You know, think big. You know, why shouldn't you be able to do so? Especially when you've done something similar before. You know, I think about school. I am heading towards certain times where I'm gonna have certain you know, a few exams and so on and so forth, and it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be, well, these times may be pretty stressful, but why the fuck shouldn't I be able to do that? Why the fuck shouldn't I be able to get that done? Why shouldn't I be able to, well, excel and do this, that, and the other thing? Like, why shouldn't I? You know, who says that I cannot do this? And of course, we all have certain, well, boundaries maybe, in terms of, okay, you cannot do whatever, like you cannot do an infinite amount of work, you know, you're gonna die at some point. This is my point. But, you know, why the fuck? But anyway. You can develop any habit or thought or behavior that you consider desirable or necessary. By Brian Tracy, you know. Guess what? Yeah. I'd say this as well. Of course, one always have to consider whether a certain trait, a habit, or whatever is useful or worthwhile, quote unquote, to pursue, to keep in mind, to whatever the fuck. But yeah, still. We become what we think about. Earl Nightingale. Yeah. I think that it then becomes a part of one's identity. You know? Yeah. Period. A clear vision backed by definite plans gives you a tremendous feeling of confidence and personal power. By Brian Tracy. Yes, knowing where you're heading towards and knowing what you want to have is very important. Because if you do not know the outcome that you want to have, you, first of all, cannot decide what you should be doing to get there. And second of all, well, How are you gonna get there in the first place? First of all, not knowing what to do, and you're gonna just really put a lot of work into something that's probably and maybe and who knows not even gonna lead to a certain outcome that you want to have. It's crucial to know that you are willing to have a certain outcome, or you want to have a certain outcome, you want to see a certain outcome, and then going for that. The person who says it cannot be done should not interrupt the person who is doing it. A Chinese proverb. Everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of fear, by George Adair. Well, I don't know. I mean, I do know that this quote indeed probably is kind of correct. I don't know. I couldn't actually give you an example of an experience that I've had that kind of underlines that. But yeah, I don't know if this is actually his quote. I kind of feel like that a lot of people have said that. Success is getting what you want. Happiness is wanting what you get. Yeah. By W.P. Kinsella. And I would totally say so as well. If you're not grateful for what you have, if you're not okay with what you're having, like, how the fuck should you be happy if you're always, all the time, unhappy with what you have? Of course, you may be able to get something better. And I'm just thinking about relationships, and this is a very, 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 very interesting, but on the other hand, dangerous thought. Like, okay, I am with a certain person and I am happy and whatnot, but I may be able to get someone better. Like, are you really? No, I don't know. When you are in a relationship with somebody, there, probably is and was a reason for that in the first place, in the very beginning. And, unless, of course, maybe some bullshit reason quite on one hand, and on the other hand, I don't know, like, toxic relationships should not be part of your life, period. Your life only gets better when you get better. Think continually about what you want, not about the things you fear. Yeah, something that I'm seeing as well in myself, like, what is the benefit of that? Why am I doing that, and why should I be doing that? There is no reason why one should do that. Yeah, there is no reason to do that. We will always tend to fulfill our own expectations of ourselves, which, somewhat of an self-fulfilling prophecy. Is there actually a self-fulfilling prophecy? Would actually be kind of interesting whether there is studies on that. Self-fulfilling prophecy is the socio-psychological phenomenon of someone predicting or expecting something, and this prediction or expectation coming true simply because a person believes or anticipates it, and the person's resulting behavior aligned to fulfill the belief. This suggests that people's beliefs influence their actions. The principle behind this phenomenon is that people create consequences regarding people or events based on previous knowledge of the subject. Literature, media, and arts classic. Let's say what the Greeks are. In Greek literature, a prophet is defined as one who speaks for another. The best known example for Greek legend is that of Oedipus, warned that his child will one day kill him. Okay, I see. Yeah. And then, but on the other, there are actually certain effects. Other specific examples discussed in psychology include clever Hans effect, observer expectancy effect, Hawthorne effect, placebo effect, nocebo effect, Pygmalion effect, and stereotype threat. When it comes to relationships, apparently. Not good. Not good, not good, not good. What is the clever Hans effect? To end this episode here. Der kluge Hans, yes, was a horse that was claimed to have performed arithmetic and other intellectual tasks. After a formal investigation in 1907, psychologist Oskar Pfungst demonstrated that the horse was not actually performing these mental tasks, but was watching the reactions of his trainer. He discovered this artifact in the research methodology, whether the horse was responding directly to involuntary cues in the body language of the human trainer, blah, 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 blah. Well, pretty interesting, but I think that I'm going to end the episode there. I still have to do a ton of things today, and I'm going to see you the next time. So please stay safe and well off, and have a nice day.